I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You see this number and the logos below it, and what follows is a vision of a future that no one thought could possibly happen. What's up guys, Max here, and I really wanted to talk to you all about the latest rumors and information that has dropped over the past couple days of Marvel vs. Capcom 4 potentially getting revealed at PlayStation Experience, and whether or not I think it's actually going to happen. We've gained a pretty good track record on this channel as far as getting information that'll lead to potential leaks for future fighting games and things that are actually real, but some stuff has happened lately that leaves me a bit skeptical regarding leaks and things that do look really convincing, especially considering Baiken not being real for Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. But let's go back and find out what exactly happened over the past 24 hours and what has been leading up to this information right now that Marvel 4 could be showing up at PlayStation Experience in just about a week. A few weeks ago, there were some notable fighting game community channels saying that they were getting information from some top FGC members that Marvel vs. Capcom 4 was going to be existing in 2017 with some early betas. However, upon reading this and learning what so many people are trying to tell me about Marvel coming very soon, I didn't believe it simply because I didn't know the source or where it was coming from, and unless it's coming from the developers or we're seeing something extremely official in terms of art, then it wasn't something I was going to pay any mind to, much less make a speculation/rumor video about. But we are making one right now because a lot of this stuff has been happening over the past couple of weeks talking about a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, as well as many community members, but the big one happened just yesterday over on the forum called NeoGAF. I frequented this forum a lot over the past 8 years or so, and you're not allowed to post rumors on this site unless you have an element of validity to it. You need to provide the moderators of the page with the source of your information, and if they deem it worthy, actually newsworthy, to stay on the site, then they will keep it up. However, if it's a rumor that doesn't have any validity or any roots in something that could actually happen, they're just going to take it down and it's not going to show up anymore. A forum member by the name of Rice was actually going on thread and saying that he was not going to share this, but enough beating around the bush. Many other members were told about a Marvel vs. Capcom 4 announcement at the PlayStation Experience event. He didn't think it would happen for all the obvious reasons, but it actually is going to happen. Normally you wouldn't pay any mind to something like this. This is just people hoping for something to be true, if not grasping onto small bits of information that doesn't really come with a lot of clout. However, this person has given away information before for other games that has led him to be a reputable source of info on this site because the things he has talked about in the past have come true. Also, concerning the thread that was up, he provided information to moderators on this site that have indeed convinced them that the information that he's receiving is true and the sources are credible. So the thread remained up and the speculation began, as the entire world now is reporting Marvel vs. Capcom 4 as a potential announcement at the PlayStation Experience, accompanied by this image of a number 4. Now, the problem with this image is that I don't think it's real. I feel that it's too easily fabricated, and I think it's something that, while it does look really cool and I want it to be real, there's currently no source as far as where this thing came from. It simply popped up on this thread, on the forum that everyone's been talking about, the leaks and everything, but the person who posted it did not give any information as far as where it came from. So, simply based on the fact that I've seen some pretty damn good fakes for some fighting game leaks over the past year or so, I don't think this image is indeed real. It just looks really weird at certain angles. I can't tell if I'm looking at it from like a downwards up angle, or maybe a really weird position on the side because the number 4 just doesn't line up. It looks like it's crazy out of whack, but I just do not think that this image represents a proper teaser for Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Not to mention, there was some other stuff that dropped a little while after, showing 2 shots of them hovering around the number, going through artwork for the games that is easily distributed and found on any image search on Google. This artwork from Ultimate Marvel 3, Marvel Superheroes, and Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is actually a repeated texture on the side of the numbers. To boil it down, I just simply don't believe that this is something that would be produced by Capcom or Marvel for an announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom 4. The text on the second image is also a cause for concern because it says it's celebrating almost 20 years of Marvel vs. Capcom. And coming from someone who's actually made trailers and have had to deal with people that are in higher positions about proper marketing text on screen and what you want to convey to your buyers as far as the games you're making and what you want them to get in the future, I don't know why the hell you would want to tell your audience to celebrate almost 20 years of something. You would usually celebrate the 20th anniversary or something, or the 25th or the 15th. It doesn't mean anything if it's leading up to it, not to mention that I can barely read the text at all if you're scrolling by it. It's so small in comparison to a lot of the lighter colors that are in the background that I just simply wouldn't do that if I was making this trailer, especially if it's an announcement video or a teaser for something where you want to be as clear and concise regarding any text on screen as possible. Yeah, I'm just calling it right now. This image and this logo, in my opinion, are fake as hell. Does that mean that I want it to be fake? Absolutely not. Really, guys, the sheer thought that another Marvel vs. Capcom game, a main title, could be showing up in the near future has me more excited than you can possibly believe. And it's almost to the point that it's unbelievable to me. Like, I don't see how this can happen based off all the information, how Capcom's been running itself as a business, and based on the things that have been happening in the previous history with Marvel and Capcom as companies. It doesn't really make sense for anything to be happening this soon. And yes, as we've made plenty of videos talking about Marvel speculation in the past, the new head of Marvel Games is changing a lot in terms of how Marvel's going to be distributing its licenses for the video games they make, and they want to focus on making console games a priority, and he's very aware that one of the most requested games they have is another Marvel vs. Capcom title. This was like 6 months ago we talked about this though. The only way that Marvel vs. Capcom 4 is a possibility is if Marvel and Capcom worked out a deal where somehow the business process is completely different than before. Somehow they're able to work on these characters, combining with other Capcom and Marvel characters without worrying about crazy licensing issues like they did in the past. And potentially they worked something out just for this specific game because they want to get stuff done on the console front, and they know this is a big title and they want to do something about it. Now, considering that that 4 logo might be completely fake, it could be something else. It might not be Marvel vs. Capcom 4. It could be a Marvel superheroes game made by Capcom. It could be that Marvel is outsourcing the development of this game and looking for developers, and they're going to Capcom to make it. However, I really think that they wouldn't make another Marvel superheroes game simply because that game does not have a huge amount of popularity. The title, the brand of Marvel vs. Capcom is what has a lot of people clamoring for more. And that's what they want to see, Capcom characters and Marvel characters duking it out in similar fashion to previous games. Now, based on all this stuff I've told you, I still think there's a chance of this thing happening. On Sunday, we're going to find out. I'll be back with more information, but there has been some really weird stuff that Ono has been talking about, specifically in regards to the Akuma teaser for Street Fighter V. There was almost no doubt in our minds, yeah, it was at the end of a Street Fighter V tournament, that's going to be Akuma in Street Fighter V, obviously. But recently, he's had an interview with the Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu, saying that it might not be what you expect, and oh, I never announced Akuma for Street Fighter V. What the hell is going on? He also said to challenge your expectations, there is something unexpected coming at PlayStation Experience. And I don't know what the hell to think right now. There's definitely something happening, but I'm thinking it's going to be related to Street Fighter V. But there is several other people that are very high-end members in the Marvel vs. Capcom leak community from 5 years ago, as well as huge members of the fighting game community, the guys that actually run EVO, that are specifically talking about these leaks, and the person who leaked a ton of stuff before that goes by the name of Lupinko, specifically talking about it on Twitter, not providing any new information, but just adding fuel to the fire. There are some out there that are making me think that this could be a possibility. However, my opinion really hasn't changed if this is going to be real or not. If I had to give you guys a percentage on next Sunday when the announcement does happen, if something does happen, then I'm saying it's about 5%. That's right, 5% out of 100% that Marvel vs. Capcom 4 could actually be announced. based on all the information we've heard from all the development companies at Capcom, as well as Marvel, as well as direct interviews with the previous director of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, as well as Ono talking about the future of fighting games, how they want to keep working on Street Fighter V until 2020, and then focus on other fighting games maybe later. Unless they're directly lying to us, then this doesn't make any sense, which is why this is only about a 5% chance of happening. However, I do think that there could be a select few people in the community that are starting this rumble of Marvel vs. Capcom 4 simply to entice interest. That they want to get people to think that it's real, so they're maybe creating fake images and creating fake news or fake rumors that this could potentially be happening. That's right, super Illuminati trolling that is happening on an underlevel, going to people that they actually trust, and they're giving that information to other people that think it's trustworthy, and they're reporting it on sites. I do not believe it. And of course, it would do great things for my channel if Marvel vs. Capcom 4 was actually real. And I can't even think of it. Like, it blows my mind that it could be a possibility. I really want to jump on this hype train, guys, but I simply can't do it right now. And I encourage you to do the same. Temper your expectations, because the chance of this happening is so low that you really should not be excited for it right now. But let's say come next weekend, there is something that shows up officially from Capcom that is a giant 4, similar to the logos we've seen before. Everything we talked about was real. All that simply does is make it even more amazing. That 5% chance just came true, which makes Marvel vs. Capcom 4 as a reality even more special. Like, literally, the unbelievable just happened. Hell hath frozen over, and we might actually get X in a fighting game. Probably not, though. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for listening. As soon as we know more on this, trust me, as soon as there's any more information that might come from credible sources talking anything about this, I'll be back to report on it as soon as possible. As always, guys, thank you a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.